Okay, so so nothing. Let's get this started. So the first one says combine like terms. Now I will take my time just because it's a review and put the like terms next to each other. Okay. Minus 36y, minus 12, minus 53. So all my like terms are next to each other, and notice that whatever I'm moving it with the sign that precedes it. Okay. Everything gets moved together, including the sign. So now you can combine like terms. These two b you can combine. It's a positive, sorry, negative 44 plus 12, so 19. So I know it's going to be something b. They're more negative, so I know my answer is going to be negative. So now I have to find the difference between 44 and 19, which is 25. Minus 36y, I'm not going to combine that with anyone because there's nobody to combine. Then finally, these two can be combined. Negative 12 minus 53, same thing as negative 12 plus negative 53. So I'm going to add these two because they're the same sign. So 12 and 53 is 65, so minus 65. So that's my whole expression of combining like terms. Now, this particular problem, so the point of this particular problem is what you do with that subtraction, the minus sign in front of the parentheses. So by now you should know that if there is a minus sign in front of the parentheses, you're going to pretend there's a 1 there, right? So it's almost like multiplying every single term by negative 1, which means that when they come out, it comes out, if it's positive 22a, it comes out negative 22a. Negative 4a comes out as positive 4h. And this comes out as negative 9p. Now here, please be careful. It's negative 3 times negative 6a. Negative times a negative is a positive. And negative again times another negative is positive. And this time 3 times 7 is 21h. 22a plus 18a. So those two I moved, right? So, and then the h, I have a 4h. Plus 21h, and then the minus 9v is all at the end. So I can combine these two. It's they're more negative, so it's going to be a negative something a, and there's the difference between 22 and 18 is 4. 4h plus 21h is both positive, so that makes my life easier. So it's plus 25h minus 9v. If I see all these three lines tomorrow and you make a mistake somewhere, I can give you a point. Actually, right? I can give you a point or something. But if you go from this line somehow straight to this last line and there's something wrong there, I can't give you any points because you're not showing me any work. Okay, so if you don't want to put the like terms next to each other, you don't have to. But if you get it wrong, you're not giving me too many options to give you a point here, a point there. Okay, because I'm not seeing anything. So likewise, these two, next problem again here, I guess the exercise is for you to be careful with how the terms come out of the parentheses. Okay, so negative 15k does absolutely nothing, so it just stands around. Negative and negative is positive, and that's 91y. Negative and negative is positive, and it's 56. Positive and negative is negative 16k, and then positive and negative is going to be negative 24. So there are some like terms that we can put next to each other. And then negative plus 91y plus 56 minus 24. So all those, I put the like terms next to each other. So now be careful. And again, if you don't want to change this to negative 15 plus negative 16, right? You want to change the subtraction to an addition and then the opposite of the other one. You don't have to. But if you're going to make a mistake, I suggest you do. So this becomes negative 31k. Negative 31k. Plus 91y, that stays the same. And then 56 minus 24 is just a simple subtraction problem. And you get 32. Positive 32. Yeah? Next question. Again, there's a plus right in front of that. And if you imagine a 1, everything is going to be multiplied by positive 1. So there are no changes that are going to happen, right? So that comes out as 2w8 minus 3y minus w6 minus 7w6, I'm sorry, because that's not That stays the same because there's nothing happening to it. And then this 9 here, you know, you find the distributive property with the terms inside. So positive and positive is 27 W8. And then 9 times 6, negative 6y is negative 54y. So we got that, right? And let's see, we can combine some like terms. I will put the like terms next to each other. So it's 2W8 plus 27W8. So those are like terms. Negative 3y with the minus 54y. Those are like terms. So I'll put those next to each other. And these two, negative W6 and negative 7W6 next to each other. So now just be careful when adding or subtracting this term. So 2, this is nice and easy, 29W8. Next part is negative 3 and negative 54. So I know it's going to be negative, right? It's negative something wise. And negative 3, negative 54 is the same thing as negative 3 plus negative 54 or negative 57. And the last one, it's negative 1. There's a 1 there, minus 7. And that, by now, you should know that's negative 8W6. Same thing, apply distributive property here, and 1/3 times 2/5, nothing cancels out, so 1/3, so if you multiply, 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 5 is 15, you get this, right? And then 1/3 times 9, so this I just did, 1/3 times 9, that can be simplified, it's going to just give me 3y. And then 1/3 times negative 12 is going to be 4, and then minus 18y. Can I combine like terms? Yes, I do. I have 3 like terms here. So let me put them next to each other. 25y plus 3y minus 18y minus 4. So I think 2/15y plus 3y. And I'm going to move that. That's going to give me 3 and 2/15y minus 18y. So I did these two first. Minus 18y minus 4. Now I gotta do 3 and 2/15y minus 18. Okay, so minus 4 is gonna stay there. That's gonna give me, if you think about it, you're doing negative 18, right? Negative 18y plus 3 and 2/15y, right? So remember, I'm just switching sides. So I took this, put it in the front, put this in the back. That's okay, right? So there are more negatives. How many more negatives? I have to find the difference between 18 and 3 and 2/15. So 18 minus 3 is definitely 15, right? But I have a little bit. So it's going to be 14 and 13/15. So if I add 14 and 13/15 plus 3 and 2/15, will I get 18? Well, 14 plus 14, the whole number is 14 and 3 is 17. And if I add 13 over 15 plus 2 over 15, I get 15 over 15. Right, which is 1, and that gives me 18. So that's correct. But that's all negative. And don't forget the y. Okay. So again, next one, 1/4 times 1/2 is 1/8 m. Minus 1/4 times 20 is 5m. 1/4 times negative 32. 1/4 times minus, it's going to be negative 1/4 times 32 is 8. And then minus 5/6m. I can combine some like terms, so let me put them next to each other. Minus 5m, minus 5/6m, minus 8. So if you want to, let's try to make this as easy as possible. So 1/8 minus 5/8. 1/8 minus 5, there's more. If I did it like this, maybe understand. So it definitely is negative, so think about it. So 5, and we're subtracting 1/8, yeah? Because there's definitely more negatives. So my answer is going to be, so if I need to find the difference between 5 and 8. Now, if that was a decimal, I would have added a decimal and a 0, but it's not a decimal, so this is going to become 4. And then here, I need to write something that's equivalent to 1. And because the denominator is 8, I'm going to choose to write 8 over 8. So 5 is the same thing as 4 and 8 over 8. So if I subtract this, I can. And that comes down. So I got negative 4/7, which I'm now going to subtract minus 5/6m minus 8, yeah? So let me just write this down a little neater. Minus 5, 6. I don't think that's neither. Now I can, what do you call, these are two negatives, so it's negative 4, 7/8. I'm going to add that to 5, negative 5, 6 m, right? So there's both m's, minus 8. So let's add that. 4 and 7/8 plus 5, 6. Well, that's going to be negative, right? Negative something. Negative something m fraction, I don't know, and then minus 8 in the back. So if I add these two, I need to find equivalent fraction, which is 24. 24, 6 times 4 is 24, so times 4 is going to be 20. 8 times 3 is 24, so times 3 on the top is 21. The 4 comes down, so now I have 24 over here, and 21 plus 24 is 41. Hang on a second. Pause. So where was I? What a mess. So that's 41 over 24, which we can change to a mixed number. 24 goes into 41 one time. You're going to have 17 over 24, and you can't have two whole numbers, so 4 plus 1 is 5, 17 over 24. All that negative, so it's going to be negative 5, 17 over 24m minus 8. Okay? Hopefully I didn't make a mess out of that. Probably did. Applied distributed property. Wow, really? Okay, so again, so if you notice, this looks very similar to your quiz, but trust me when I say this is, you'll be fine tomorrow if you're okay with this. So much fun. I don't even know what to tell you. 1/8 negative and negative is positive, and 1/8 of 16th is just 2, right? 2m. Negative and a positive is a negative. 1/8 of 24 is 3w. 1/8 negative and negative is a positive, and 1/8 of 8 is 1 plus 13m. Can I combine anything? I can combine. Boom. Okay, hang on a second. Pause. Okay, so that was fun. I can combine the positive 2m and positive 13m, so that's kind of easy to do, right? I'll just put them like terms next to each other. Minus 3w plus 1. These two I can combine, and that's nice and easy. 15m minus 3w plus 1, because that's the only two like terms in the expression. This one, it's times 5. Ooh, yuck. So 5 times 9, so you get negative first of all, 45 over 8, a. Positive, and then what the heck? So that actually, I made a mistake. That shouldn't be a plus and minus, so this should be just a big minus sign. Positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 3 is 15, and over 7, y, plus, and 5 times 1.3 is 15, carry the 1, 6.5. So there are no like terms, lucky for you. And that's it. So so look at this question, look at your multiple choice answers. If they decide to change 45 over 8 to a mixed number, then do so. Otherwise, look for this. And if they decide to change 45 over 8 to a decimal by dividing 45 and 8, then do so. So as of now, this is as far as I'm going to go because I don't know what the multiple choice answers are. Next, yuck. Let's do this one. So over here, so again, it's a positive, negative, and not negative. So I know it's going to be positive, and let's just multiply out. 7 times 1 is 7. 5 times 4 is 20. It's going to be 20c. Second one is negative and a negative again, so it's positive. And 1 times 41 is 41 over 5c. Last one, negative and a negative is a positive, and 1 times 27 is 27, and on the bottom is 5, but that's h. And then minus 3/10 c. So do I have any like terms? I do. Okay, so let's do this. 720c plus 41 over 5c. I'm going to move this guy to the third place, 3 over 10c, and push the plus 27 over 5h all the way to the back. So now I can combine these three guys, right? These three guys I can combine. So if you look at the LCM, the LCM obviously is going to be 20, right? So it's going to be 20. 7c, and this is going to be a 20, so times 4, and it's going to be times 4 on top, which is 164c, and then 10 becomes, it's times 2, so on top is times 2, and that's 66c, plus 27, 5 over h. So now, if we add the 3, so we're going to get something 20c, right? So 7 plus 164 is 171. 7 plus 164 is 171 minus 6. We go back down to 165. So it's 165c plus 27 over 5h. And again, look at your multiple choice. If they leave it like this, you don't have to change it to mixed number. If they do, then change 165 over 20 to mixed number, or they might even ask you for a fraction. But that's okay. All right. Oh, there's one more. So here, hopefully this one is easier. Not easier, but I guess the word is less work. Negative and negative is a positive, and 6 I can simplify, right? So because I have 6 times 5 over 2, this simplifies, and I get literally 15k. Next one is a negative and a positive, so it's going to give me negative, so I have to multiply 6 times 2.1, which is 12.6 W. Last one is a negative times a negative, which is a positive, and 6 times 0.45, I have no idea, 6. 6 times 5 is 30, carries us 3, 24, 27, 2 decimal places, 2.7, plus 2.7 h. Can I combine anything? No, I'm done. So factor out the GCF. So you can use a ladder method if you like. For this one, the ladder method works nice because what do you call it? You don't have to worry about common variables. Terms that have the same variables. Okay, so you don't have to pull a variable out. So here, highest number is 9. Yeah, 9 goes into 9h one time, or h2, h squared, 1h squared, minus, and 27 divided by 9 is 3, or 3m, minus 63k divided by 9 is 7k. So that should be. Now, if you leave it like this, you're not getting any points. Actually, this was from the quiz, so take that out. But I need to see the expression written in this manner. Like I said, this number outside has to be the greatest common factor. And if you multiply everything, you should get back to the original expression. Here, what can I pull out? 9? No, 6. 6 seems like the biggest number. 18, negative 18p divided by 6 is negative 3p. 42 divided by 6 is 7w4, and 54 divided by 6 is going to give me 9k7. So this one's pretty self. So it's going to be 6, negative 3p, minus 7w4, minus k7. If I do this true properly, it should get me back to my original equation. It has to. Not should, it has to. Okay. Now, the bottom ones here require a little bit more work. It depends on the method you want to use. You can expand it out. So I guess this one I'll expand it out, those of you who still like that method. So, I got negative 24, 88, B3. I have negative, you know what, I'm going to take the negative out and just write 24. Then I'll write 12, A8, B2, and 8, A5, B6. So I'm going to expand all these. So this is going to be something that needs to be like this. All right, and we need to fill out those spots. So 24, it's 4 and 6, which is 2 and 3, and so 2, 2, 2, and 3. So it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. I got 8 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and B3. 1, 2, 3. 12 is 3 times 4, or 2 times 2 times 3. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 B's. 8 is 2 times 4, or 2 times 2 times 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yikes. Okay, so we can do it this method. So now what do we have in common? So let's hopefully I won't make a mess out of this. We got this two in common. Another 2 in common. No more 2s, 3s. No, I have one set of A's in common. Another set of A's in common. So the neater you are, obviously, the neater this is going to look. 3 and 8. Another set of A's in common. 4. Another set of A's in common. And I think that's it, because I can't do B's. I have one group of B's in common. Another group of B's in common. And that's it. So my LCM, and then let me put it, so I have one group of 2, so that's a 2. Now times this group of 2s. And then I have one group of A, check. This group of A, check. This group of A, check. This group of A, check. And that group of A, check. That group of B, check. And that group of B, check. So my LCM, GCF, I'm sorry, is 2 times 2, which is 4. How many A's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have A to the 5th and B to the 2nd. So that's why it's going to go outside. 4, A to the 5th, B to the 2nd. So what's left over on the first line? What's left over on the first line is 2 times 3, so it's going to be 6. And A to the 3rd, and then 1B. On the second line, I'm going to have a 3 left over, no more other numbers. How many A's? 3 A's, A to the 3rd, and no B's. In the last one, I have a 2 left over, and no A's, but a bunch of B's, B to the 4th. Double check. Now let's multiply this. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. A to the 5th and A third is 8 eighths, and B second to B 1 is B third. Check. So this is check. Positive and a negative is a negative again. 4 times 3 is 12. Check. A to the 5th, A to the 3rd is B eighth, and B to the 2nd multiplied by this empty space is just B to the 2nd. Check. Last one. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Check. A fifth times no A here. It's going to be 8 fifth. And B to the 2nd times 2B to the 4th to B to the 6th. Check. So this expression is what I'm looking for. Now that's one way of doing it. Okay, and if you're really comfortable, you can try to do it this way. So over here, let's see what I can pull out. So I can pull out 15, 30, 40, and 45. The biggest number in common between those 4 numbers, is 5. So I can pull out, let me just space it out a little bit more. 5 is going to come outside. Now if you look at your K's, what is the K with the smallest exponent? This is K to the 3rd, K to the 6th, K to the 3rd, K to the 5th. So out of all of them, K to the 3rd is the smallest one. So guaranteed everybody has to get K to the 3rd in there. You got to pull out the smallest one. W, so W7, W6, W2, and just W. So the smallest of them, the smallest of W with the lowest exponent is just this W. And that's what comes out. Now you got to figure out it's not going inside. So 15 times what is 5? 15 times, what am I doing? 5 times what is 15? So that's going to be, obviously, 3. 3 times 5 is 15. How do I make it to the K to the 3rd? I can't add in the K because that's already a K to the 3rd. Good. And W times what is W to the 7th? W times W is 6. All right, so this, if you were to multiply this, will give you that. Minus 30 divided by 5 is 6. I need to be a K to the 6, so I'm going to multiply by K third, because K third and K third gives me K6. This is a W. How do I get to W6? So multiply by W5. Minus 40 divided by 5 is 8. K3 is already there, so I'm not going to add any K's. And W second just means I do W. So 8 times 5 is 40. Check. K third gets in there. W times W is W to the 2nd power. And lastly, plus 45K W fifth. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. This is K3. I needed to get to K5, so I'm going to do K2. And W I don't need, so that's my final. And you can always double check to see if that works. Okay. Solve and check. Oh my God. Okay, so if you want to, do that little story. If you don't want to, be my guest. Okay, what's this? Get away. I have a variable h, which is being divided by -4. That gives me -32. So I'm sorry, I forgot. That equals -20. So going backwards, I have to do plus 32 and then times -4. That would give me my answer. So let's do exactly what that says. So let's do plus, why plus, what am I doing here? No. Let me do this again. Here's a variable h, which is being divided by -4, which is subtracted 20, and that's giving me -32. So I got those two confused. So I have to add plus 20, and then times -4. Well, that's my instruction, right? So let's do that. Plus 20, plus 20. So these two go bye-bye. Bring down h, -h over 4, and -32 plus 20 is -12. Second thing I want to do now is multiply both sides by -4. This times -4, and this times -4. Negative and a negative, this whole thing is going to be positive, and these 4 can cross out. I'm left with h. Negative times a negative is a positive, and I get 48. Watch your check, please. Be extremely careful with your check. I have -32 on one side, and on the other side, this is what I have. -4 minus 20. That minus sign belongs to the expression. So when I substitute, I forget what I said. I'm replacing the h and substituting is 48. So that's what it should look like. -32. -48 divided by 4 is -12 minus 20, -32. And -12 plus -20 is -32. I know this is correct. Next. Again, here's my little story. I have a variable called m, which is being multiplied by -9, minus 36, and then plus equals 18. If I work backwards, I have to do plus 36, inverse operation, and then I have to divide by -9. So let's do that. Plus 36, plus 36. These two become 0. I'm going to bring -9m down. 18 plus 36 is 54. My second set of instructions says divide both sides by -9, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. -9 divided by -9 is +1, which is multiplied by m is just m. 54 by -9 divided by -9 is -6, so that's my answer. So check. -9 times -6 minus 36, is that 36? Equals 18. So I substitute it right here. I replace the m with -6. Order of operations, please take care of multiplication. So that's multiplication I have to take care of. Negative times a negative is positive. 9 times 6 is 54. Minus 36 equals 18. 54 minus 36 is 18 indeed. And I know now that everything is good. Oh, explain how you solve the equation using number properties. Please explain carefully. In this case here, I did the inverse operation of -20, which is +20, so I added +20 on both sides. Okay, then I got -32 plus 20 is -12, and then over here, the -20 and the +20 became 0, so they left, and then I was left with -h over 4. Then I did the inverse operation of division, okay, of dividing by -4, which is multiplying by -4 on both sides. And that's how I got whatever answer, etc., etc. So use the words inverse operations of whatever operation. Use the word isolate, because that's what we're doing, right? We want to isolate. Somehow this whole right side is going to look like h, like this, right? Where h is going to be all alone by itself. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone. All that's going to be gone. And somehow we're just going to have the h left over. We want to isolate the h and have a value on the other side. And then we're going to check. So all that should be present in your explanation. Okay. The length of a rectangle. So again, we did this in class, but I'm going to do it again because it's not too difficult. Anyway, so draw yourself a rectangle. So here's the length, 4a minus 5. They tell you that the width is 3 times the length. So whatever this width, obviously, well, my picture is completely wrong, but the width is a little bit longer. But the length, but the width is 3 times the length. So I'm going to write 3 times the length. Yeah. So now I know that if this is 4a minus 5, this is 4a minus 5. And on the other side, it's 3 times 4a minus 5, right? Because it's the same side on both sides. So they want us to write an expression simplest form to represent the width. So here's my width. So if I do the distributive property, 3 times 4a is 12a, and 3 times minus 15 is minus 15. So that's how the width is represented right now. Now, I want to, find the perimeter of the rectangle. So let me just clean that up a little bit. So my rectangle, this is 4a minus 5. This is 12a minus 15, right? Because I did the distributive property. So now, let me label every side of that rectangle. Now that's what I have left. So if I add all this, I get the perimeter, right? So this plus this plus this plus this. So please show work properly. So it would be 4a minus 5 plus 4a minus 5 plus 12a minus 15 plus 12a minus 15, right? It's all the sides being added together. So now you're going to add all the a's. 4a plus 4a is 8a. 8a plus 12a is 20a, and 20a plus 32a is 32a. 4, 8, 20, 32. Good. Minus 5 is minus 10. Minus 10 is minus 25, so this is 30 minus 4. That's what my expression looks like, the simplified version. 32a minus 40. Unless I made a big boo-boo. Maybe 15, maybe 30. That looks right. Now, done. So that would be the answer to the second part. And then if a equals 6, find the perimeter. So now we can go back to this expression, substitute, replace the a with 6, and figure out what the perimeter is. 32 times 6 is 12, 192 minus 40, and 192 minus 40 is 152, 152 inches. So the perimeter of this rectangle, now that we know what a is 152 inches. Did I put a word yet? No, I didn't put a word yet, so I have to put a word. I don't know what to put. Let's talk about, it's going to be this. Domain and range. That's your bonus word. Okay. The width of a rectangle. So let's talk about the width. The width of a rectangle is 2m plus 3, which means this guy is 2m plus 3. Now there's definitely a mistake here. The length is 4 times, this should say 4 times the width. So the length here is 4 times whatever the width is. 4 times 2m plus 3. Which means this is 4 times 2m plus 3. Yeah? Let me erase this. Now, write an expression in simplest form to represent the length. So the length here is 4 times 2m plus 3, which if you do the distributive property, you get 8m plus 12, right? So another way of saying that is 8m plus 12. Now let's add the perimeter. Let's add all the sides of my rectangle to find the perimeter. So I have 2m plus 3. I have another side that's 2m plus 3, yeah? I have two sides, the length is plus 8m plus 12. And the other side's 8m plus 12, right? So 8m plus 12, remember I applied the distributive property, and I get that. So let's add all the m's, 2m plus 8m plus 8m. They're all positive, thankfully. So 8 plus 8 is 16, 16, 18. It looks like I have 20m. All the other numbers are positive, so 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 12 is 18, 18 plus 12 is 30. So that would be the second answer, 20m plus 30. So that's the expression that represents the perimeter of the rectangle. Now, if m equals 5, what would be the perimeter, the actual value? So we take the expression 20m plus 30, replace the m with 5, 20 times 5 plus 30. 25 times 5 is 100 plus 30, and the answer would be 130 inches. Okay? And I think that's that. I think it would be more than fine. Okay? That's that. I'm posting this right now.